Now, just last evening, barely 80 kilometers from Delhi, in the Rohtak village in Haryana, saw yet another shocking case of a medieval-style killing in the name of family honor. Villagers looked on as young Nidhi and her lover, Dharmender, were lynched to death by the girl's family. They had eloped, actually, and run away to Delhi because their families did not want them to be together, did not approve of their relationship. But it seems that Nidhi's family, in fact, persuaded both the two young people to come back. And they promised that there would be no harm to the young lovers. But what followed after that was completely brutal. Apparently, they were tortured. They were tortured for several hours before the young boy was, in fact, beaten so terribly and then beheaded. And this seems to be also an account from when the police actually reached the spot. But what's really, really shocking, not just the story itself, but the complete silence of the political parties in the wake of that absolutely horrific incident. And that's what we discussed on the social network today. Honor killings, why are political parties silent? You can tweet us live at our Twitter handle, which is on your screens now at TSN on NDTV. And of course, we'll take your comments and your tweets live on the show. Let's quickly bring in Nakul Sani, who is a filmmaker. He's made a film on the cups and honor killings in Haryana. And also joining us on the phone line, we've got with us Jagmati Sangwan, who is a member of the All India Democratic Women's Association. She'll in fact be joining us. Nakul, I mean, this is so horrific. So horrific that, the details of this are actually just, goose chilling in a sense. Why Haryana, and why do we continue to see these honor killings? I mean, this is brutal. The young girl's family has lynched them to death.
I think also let's understand that this is not just Haryana, because if you say travel towards areas in, say, Muzaffarnagar and so on, it's actually a lot worse in Western UP. But Haryana is also getting highlighted because there's a sense of resistance that's coming. You just spoke about Ms. Jagmati Sangwan and the kind of work that activists over there are doing, because of which these cases are sort of getting highlighted. But, it is true that, yes, a lot of such cases are happening in Haryana. If you look at the Vedpal case that happened in I don't remember the date correctly, I think it was 2009, where he was also similarly lynched by a mob of about 200 people in Singwal village in Jean district. Now what is happening is, and this was after Pavanjit Banwala and Ramdiya Banwala on camera announced that he's going to be lynched, and everybody had seen this, but in spite of that there was because when you're saying that there's a silence by political parties, I think the problem is that there's not silence, there is a sort of shameless kind of support that that is being given to, so they're actually coming out in support of these in support of Khap Panchayats, so these kind of self-appointed community leaders, who claim to represent the community, which they don't really at one level. So.
Okay, Nakul, I'm going to come back to you in just a bit. Let me just quickly bring in Jagmati, because she's in fact traveling, and as you mentioned, she's been working a lot in that. Jagmati ji, why, the big question today, aside from the horrific incident that happened yesterday, is why are all political parties silent? सारे नेता चुप हैं. ये तो दीपेंद्र हुडा की अपनी constituency है.
हाँ, बिल्कुल. आपने ठीक फरमाया. जो अपने आप को those who are calling and claiming themselves as a Yuva brigade, and they claim that they are protecting the rights of youth, but youth are being killed, being no fault of them, and they are not coming up with single word. What is their position regarding this honor killing and honor crime?
मगर क्यों Jagmati ji?
I feel strongly that there is a failure of political leadership and community leadership. At the same time, this central government also is responsible for that, because they are keeping the law enactment process pending since 8 years. The whole draft is lying with them, and now people are talking that it is their parents who are killing their own children. What we feel while working over here, that these poor parents, they are in a very hard situation. One side there is aspiration of their growing children who are being brought up in a globalized world. And at the same time, there are these Khap Panchayat-like institutions who react like anything, and at the same time there are these irresponsible and with lack of willpower governments being run by these people. So these all factors are contributing towards the honor crimes and killings. This is our observation here.
Nakul, so basically Jagmati is saying that, you know, the political parties are silent and all of them continue to remain silent because, of course, many of these are self-appointed leaders and they help political parties at the time of elections, etc. What does this mean? That we continue to see more honor killings?
Well, you know, unfortunately what has happened is that, say, women's organizations like AIDWA and several other women's organizations working on this issue, they've been demanding for the longest time a separate law against honor killings. Now, it's only when incidents like this come to the public eye that, you know, we suddenly talk about this issue again and we're wondering whether we need a separate law. And then, you know, the last time Mr. Chidambaram turned around and said, no, we don't need a separate law on honor crimes, where even the National Human Rights Commission, the National Women's Commission, all of them have recommended that we have a separate law on honor crimes. Now, the point is, like Jagmati ji was saying, that in a lot of cases, the parents don't necessarily want to carry out these killings. They're forced, the societal conditions that are created by CAPs or these kind of self-appointed community leaders, which force the parents and the community into this kind of violence. Now, that is what a lot of people have been demanding, that any assembly that is declaring, any unconstitutional assembly that declares a certain marriage contentious or a certain marriage illegal, such assembly shouldn't be allowed in the first place. Anybody participating in such an assembly should be arrested or there should be strict legal action taken against them.
Yeah.